Throughout history, there have been individuals who dared to mock and defy the almighty power of God. Their stories serve as a sobering reminder that there are consequences for those who choose to challenge God and mock him. Psalm 14:1. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God. They are corrupt. They do abominable deeds. There is none who does good." This verse describes those who deny the existence of God as fools, who are corrupt and do evil, rather than good. It portrays their mocking of God's reality and authority. 2 Peter 3:3-4. Scoffers will come in the last days with scoffing, following their own sinful desires. They will say, "Where is the promise of his coming?" For ever since the fathers fell asleep, all things are continuing as they were from the beginning of creation. This passage foretells that in the end times there will be scoffers who mock the promise of Christ's second coming, refusing to believe it will actually happen. They dismissively claim that nothing has changed since the beginning. Both of these scriptures depict those who refuse to acknowledge God's existence or his promises, demonstrating a prideful and mocking attitude towards our Lord Jesus. They serve as a warning about the danger of scoffing Jesus. Here are the list of people who mocked Jesus and paid for it. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, the epitome of Hollywood glamour, once rejected the teachings of evangelist Billy Graham. During a meeting, Graham informed her that the Spirit of God had sent him to preach to her. Monroe, with her characteristic confidence, retorted, "I don't need your Jesus." Tragically, Monroe was found dead in her apartment just a week later, her death officially ruled as a probable suicide. This incident left many to ponder the possible consequences of her dismissive attitude towards divine intervention. Bon Scott. Bon Scott, the former lead vocalist of the rock band AC/DC, became famous for his rebellious lyrics. In one of his 1979 songs, he sang, "Don't stop me, I'm going down all the way, down the highway to hell." A year after the song's release, on February 19, 1980, Scott was found dead, having choked on his own vomit after a night of heavy drinking. His death was seen by many as an eerie fulfillment of his own prophetic lyrics. John Lennon. John Lennon, a co-founder of the legendary band The Beatles, made a statement that stirred controversy across the globe. During an interview with an American magazine in 1966, he boldly proclaimed, "Christianity will end. It will disappear. I do not have to argue about that. I am certain Jesus was okay, but his subjects were too simple. Today we are more famous than him." This statement sparked outrage among fans and critics alike. Despite his musical genius, Lennon's words were perceived as a direct mockery of God. On December 8, 1980, Lennon was tragically shot 6 times by an obsessed fan outside his New York City apartment, leading to his untimely death. Tancredo Neves. Tancredo Neves, a prominent Brazilian politician, declared during his presidential campaign that not even God could remove him from the presidency if he received 500,000 votes from his party. True to his prediction, Neves secured the votes and appeared poised to assume the presidency. However, a day before his inauguration, he fell gravely ill and died, never to fulfill his presidential duties. His death was seen by many as a stark reminder of the limits of human power in the face of divine will. Kazuza. Kazuza, a Brazilian singer, composer, and poet, openly challenged God during a performance in Rio de Janeiro. While on stage, he puffed out cigarette smoke into the air and mockingly said, "God, that's for you." Kazuza, known for his flamboyant lifestyle and bisexuality, met a tragic end at the young age of 32. He succumbed to lung cancer, dying in a painful and agonizing manner, a fate many attributed to his audacious provocation of the divine. Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews, the shipbuilder behind the infamous Titanic, was asked about the safety of his creation. With an ironic tone, he boasted, "Even God himself couldn't sink the ship." This statement would become notoriously ironic after the Titanic's maiden voyage. On April 15, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg and sank, resulting in the deaths of over 1,500 passengers and crew. The tragedy of the Titanic stands as one of history's most poignant reminders of human hubris. The group of friends in Campinas. In 2005, a group of friends in Campinas, Brazil, embarked on a night out while heavily intoxicated. A concerned mother, seeing off her daughter, said, "My daughter, go with God and may He protect you." The daughter replied, "Only if He, God, travels in the trunk, because inside here it's already full." Hours later, the group was involved in a fatal accident that left the car unrecognizable. Remarkably, the trunk was found intact, with a crate of eggs inside it unharmed. This incident served as a chilling reminder of the mother's words and the dangers of mocking divine protection. Christine Hwit. Christine Hwit, a Jamaican journalist and entertainer, once declared that the Bible was the worst book ever written. In June 2006, she was found burnt beyond recognition in her car. This gruesome end shocked many and was seen as a dire consequence of her blatant disrespect for the Holy Scriptures. These stories serve as stark reminders of the potential consequences of mocking or challenging the divine. Each individual's fate, whether coincidental or a direct result of their actions, left a lasting impression on those who heard their stories, reinforcing the age-old belief in respecting the power and presence of the divine.